It's the middle of the week, and it's only week 3, and I'm going to say it's a must-win game already. And for those of you in the it's only one game, Rome crowd, you don't need to rush up in here and tell me it's only week 3. I am well aware of what week it is, just as I am well aware that it is a must-win game for the Patriots. Yes, I said it. A must-win game for the Pats in New Jersey this week. But if it'll make you feel better, half fam, it's also a must-win game for the Jets. So what we have here is a double must-win game. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, but they both have to win. So figure that out. They're playing each other. Figure that out. Listen, here's the argument. The Pats cannot afford to be looking at 0-3. I mean, full freaking stop. Period. The Hood and his crew simply cannot start 0-3. I mean, how off the rails are they already at 0-2? They cannot start 0-3. The Jets, meanwhile, cannot afford to lose at home to the worst team in the division if they've got any hope of keeping this season on the rails without Aaron Rodgers. So both teams desperately need this game for so many different reasons. And that's not even a take or a hot take or some lava. That's just a fact. I mean, look at it this way. Imagine the reaction in New England if the Pats lose to the Coug Hunter and drop to 0-3. And then on the flip side, imagine the reaction in New York City if the Jets lose to the Pats for the 15th consecutive time. You heard me correctly. The Jets have lost 14 in a row to the Pats. Not 1, not 2, not 5, not 8, not 10, not 12. 14! Nobody should ever lose to anybody 14 times in a row. The worst team ever should not lose to the best team ever 14 times in a row. It makes no sense at all. Like, you know, we always say teams own other teams. Yeah, well, nobody owns anyone like the Pats own the Jets. Let me put it to you this way. Hoodman is more the majority owner of the Jets than Woody Johnson. 14 straight losses. You need me to put this in context. I'll tell you how mind-boggling that number is. The Jets have not beaten the Pats since December 2015. And that was an OT win. So if you want to further extrapolate that, Ray Ratto, the last Jets win over the Pats. I
hadn't really sort of extrapolated it that way, but
I'm going to do it for you, Ray. What up, Ray? How you doing, legend? The last Jets win over the Pats in regulation was all the way back in 2011, and that was a playoff game. I can extrapolate even further. The last time the Jets beat the Pats in regulation in the regular season was September 19th, 2010. Nearly 13 years ago to the day. Hey, Savage, were you even born yet? So, when Garrett Wilson... Just kidding, Jack, don't kill me. When Garrett Wilson jumps on a local radio show in New York and says that things have to change, he's not messing around. And he's definitely not wrong. This dude, what do you mean you don't like talking about it? I love this guy so much. Like, he had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with that streak. Yet, hey man, don't bring that around me. I'm not about that. And not because he had nothing to do with it, but because he's a winner. Like, you know me. I'm an enormous DJ Reed guy. I'm an enormous Sauce guy. But Garrett is fast becoming not only my favorite Jet, but one of my favorite Jets ever. Maybe my favorite Jet ever. Love this guy. Love that attitude. 14 straight is unacceptable. 14 straight is unfathomable. 15 straight would be both unacceptable and utterly disastrous, especially with the Chiefs and the Eagles right around the corner. The Jets badly need this game to stay afloat. But I'm going to argue the Patriots, half fam, need it even worse. Hoodman needs this game badly. I told you this summer that things were going to get really weird in New England really quickly if the Pats missed the playoffs again. And it's getting even more weird, even more quickly than even I thought. Let's face it. 0-3 is not a death sentence in a 17-game season, but it would be for these guys. Like, my half fam is losing patience fast, and I don't blame my half fam. And just watch what's going to happen if that bleep show were to fall to 0-3. If they fall to the Coug Hunter, you know what I mean. If they fall to the Coug Hunter and they fall to 0-3, watch how ugly that gets. Like, how bad of a look would that be for the Hood man if he loses to the Jets for the first time in 15 games and loses to a dude who complained about the wind the last time these two teams met? It is. This dude's had his worst games ever against the Pats. I mean, face it, the Hood has made really good quarterbacks look really bad, and really bad quarterbacks look like they need to find another line of work. No names mentioned. Coug Hunter. He had a 4-pick game against them. He had a 3-pick game against them. I mean, that's the one big thing that the Hoodman has going for him this week. He's not just the majority owner of the Jets franchise. He is the majority owner of one Zachary Wilson. And for his sake, it better stay that way. For what it's worth, Garrett Wilson is not the only one dropping proclamations this week. On the other side of that, Pats leader Matthew Judon, who I'm a big fan of, went out of his way to say, I know it looks bad, but just because it looks bad doesn't mean we are bad. I don't know, my dude. It looks to me like it looks bad. It looks to me like it looks bad and the team is bad. Sorry once again, half fam. This much I do know. You better know how, and you better get those corrections correct, and you better show us on Sunday because it does look bad. And the reason it looks bad is because it is bad. And if you fall to 0-3, it's going to look and be hideous. Now, maybe not quite as hideous as it looked when Matt the Ticonderoga Patricia was calling offensive plays, and Joe, the leader of men, Judge, was coaching the quarterbacks. But if we're being honest here, it doesn't look all that much better under Bob, a.k.a. Bill O'Brien, at least not so far. There is an easy way for the Patriots to show us that they're not a bad team, and that's to win. Do what you've always done. Turn the Coug Hunter inside out, beat the Jets on Sunday, stop the bleeding, and at least that's a start, and you start to change the narrative. I mean, they damn near ended the Coug Hunter's career even before it started. I don't think you want to let this guy back in and let him get back on track with a win here. And most of all, you do not want the Coug Hunter to drop you to 0-3, because we have a term for 0-3 teams: bad. Another thing 0-3 teams are unlikely to do: make the playoffs, which is why the Pats need this game. And so do the Jets. That's how we find ourselves in a double must-win scenario in Week 3. Man, how about this conversation, too? Remember how back in the day the conversation was, it wasn't a matter of whether or not Tiger Woods ran down Jack, but rather how much he smashed that majors record by. Remember that? And then Tiger ended up getting nowhere near. Same thing with the Hood and Don Shula. Remember the conversation back in the day? It was not a matter of if, but a question of when and by how much. Maybe he doesn't run down Don Shula. And if he does, maybe it's not with the Patriots. Man, how ugly would that be? I don't think that Bob Kraft, should he make it that long, hey, by the way, that's the other thing, not to be morbid, Kraft ain't going to be around to see him get that record. Even if Kraft decided, you know what, this is really frustrating and we can't keep missing the playoffs, and I don't think that he would make this deal. It's not okay with Kraft. No matter how much of a legend the Hood has been, Kraft is not going to sit by idly and miss the playoffs every single year. But even if for some reason he thought, you know what, Bill the GOAT has made me so much money and did so many things for my family, I owe it to him, I'm going to let him get that record as a member of the Pats. Yeah, but Bob, you might not be around to see it, yo. Neither one of you guys are really young. Hate to be the one to point that out. One more thing. Jet fan, I know I'm bouncing back and forth. The reason I'm bouncing back and forth is it is a must-win game for both sides. Hey, Jet fan, if you had any hope that Bacon 46 was going to ride in on that white horse and rescue this team and this season and end that horrible losing streak against the Pats that Bacon himself was largely responsible for, you need a reality check. And that's exactly what Jet fan got. A reality check from Tom Brady on his Let's Go podcast this week. Look, dude, you're the GOAT, but you're the nerd. Can this dude not ever answer a question directly? Ever? It's almost like he wants to keep the hope alive just in case some pathetic Jets fan is pathetic and desperate enough to keep believing it's possible. Next question. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.